This meeting of the Ascension Parish Zoning Commission meeting is called to order. It's March 12th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m., Ascension Parish Courthouse, 607 East Worthy Street, Gonzales, Louisiana, 70737. We're in the council chambers on the first floor. The first item on the agenda is a roll call of members. Ms. Unitas, Villa.
Here.
Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Schexnayder.
Here.
Commissioner Kluat.
Here.
And Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Introduction of staff, Ms. Banker.
Jamaica Banker, Zoning Secretary.
Jerry Scary, IT.
Spencer Long, Parish Attorney.
Eric Poche, Director of Planning and Development.
Lance Brock, zoning official.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the January 8th, 2025 Zoning Commission meeting minutes. I won't be voting on this as I wasn't in attendance at the meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Villa, second by Ms. Unitas. Any discussion amongst the commissioners? Cast your votes, please. Oh, I like to use the machine. Yeah, I like to use the machine. There we go. I'm giving Mr. Jones a little tutorial. Okay, the motion passes unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the chairman's comments. I've got no comments except to welcome our new commissioner. I'm looking forward to your working with us. Item 6 is a public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish Development Code for recommendations for the approval or denial to the Ascension Parish Council. Item A is the zoning review ID PZ 3585.25 Lot 1C1D for Kelso or Kelco Properties LLC, Kirby Keller. This is located on the south side of Louisiana East Highway 30, approximately 984 feet west of Delat Road, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from Crossroad Commercial CC District to Mixed Use MU District. This is Mr. Brock. Do you have any comments on this item?
No, sir, I'd rather have the applicant kind of
Okay.
speak first, and then I can, if you want me to.
Here you go, sir.
Kirby Keller, representing Kelco Properties. Just here asking for your recommendation of approval, here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, Mr. Brock.
My recommendation, or staff recommendation, is to accept the rezone as mixed use, as requested due to the surrounding compatible uses.
Did anyone sign up to make comment on this as a public hearing?
No one signed up.
Does anyone wish to comment on this particular issue?
I was just kind of curious as how that.
I'm sorry, sir, could you come up to the, well, first, could you go fill out a card, come up to the mic, state your name, your address, and then we're open to hear your comments. I'm sorry, it's just procedural, you know. So I didn't open the public hearing yet, and I'm gonna have to do that, I can't forget, otherwise, wait, we'll criticize. Okay, this is a public hearing. Public hearing is open on item A. Yes, sir.
My name's Alan Westerman. I live adjacent to it at 1633 East Highway 30.
Okay.
I'm just wondering how the rezoning is going to affect my property. I got two dwellings, family dwellings there. And from what I understand and talking with Mr. Kirby is they're going to build a fab shop there with a driveway coming right next to my bedroom window. So I'm just going to wonder how this rezoning is going to affect that.
Mr. Brock, I don't have an answer to that.
1633 and 1635. I have both properties next to it. I'm in between, he's behind me and on the right side of me.
Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be a required buffer that he's going to have to be from his property. It is 20 feet, but we can, the applicant's here, but that's our requirement. You'd be required to be, and landscaping and those type of things within that, so.
Is that gonna rezone my area as well, once
No,
that
sir.
area gets rezoned, or just him?
Just him.
Because he's gonna be to the right of me and behind me, that's what I'm curious about.
Just you. I mean, just him,
Just
I'm
him.
sorry, just him.
Okay.
Your prop, unless you request a rezoning, it's doubtful that that would happen.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else wish to speak? Public hearing is closed. Sir, you have anything else before I open it to the commission discussion? No, I don't have anything else. Okay, commissioners, any discussion? Have a motion? Wait, I'm sorry, Mr. Villa?
Yeah, explain to me what type of work you're gonna do there?
So we're currently in the city limits of Gonzales.
Yeah.
Planning on moving, we have a machine shop, fabrication shop. Planning on building roughly 10 to 12,000 square foot building with offices and fenced-in lay-down yard. That's it.
Where's the laydown yard gonna be?
Behind it and.
To the back of the property?
It'll be to the back and a little to the left, which part of that's most of that's gonna be taken by retention pond, actually, on that, I guess that would be the southeast corner.
And then my other question is, deliveries, how,
Couple times a day, but
like,
we,
what size?
anywhere from, a flatbed to a gooseneck trailer, flatbed truck.
And they'd be pulling in and off of 30, or,
Yes, it'll be a right in, right out off of 30 is what, the civil engineer has already kind of, I think, worked with DOT on.
so they have to expand on that? The roadway? Is that what you're saying? Like a
What's that? The
decel,
the
or
entrance to the
turn lane
property?
kind of thing, or it's?
No, it won't be a turn lane, so it'll be a right hand in, right hand out.
So the answer, I think, I just want to be sure, to answer what you're asking, is there'll be no improvements to LA 30, only
There you go.
an access from your property to LA 30.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, and it's currently kind of in the turn lane now, right?
Okay. Mr. Brock?
Yeah, when he submits, I mean, a drainage and a traffic study is gonna be required. So depending upon what that drainage and traffic study states, he's gonna be required to do. And if he kinda states that it's, DOTD is only allowed to put a right in and right out, and I'd probably agree with that. But whatever the traffic study says he's gonna have to do, he's gonna be required to do. And he's gonna be required to do some type of traffic study, or some kind of survey.
Drainage. Mr. Schechtsteiner, question?
My only concern is, that area has always been more crossroads. It's been that way for about 40-something years. What we're really trying to do, what you're asking for is really trying to move it to a little bit more concentrated, and that's not really something that we've been doing right there. It's not what we've been looking at as far as with the master plan. So I guess what I'm looking at is with what you want to accomplish, could you have accomplished this in like a Crossroads commercial or anything like that? Your request to go to mixed use,
I think it was talking with Lance, I think it's borderline. I did get a letter from them stating that, we can absolutely operate what we're doing now under mixed use, definitely not light industrial and, no more. But I think there's some stipulations in Crossroads commercial that's borderline, but we're probably more mixed use than Crossroads, yeah.
Mr. Brock, how borderline are we talking?
Probably with the laydown yard, that's questioning.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I
that
got you.
part. Yeah.
And their mitigation, their mitigation with the drainage and everything else, we're not talking like a 2-acre long, large laydown yard.
I don't, there's nothing that's been submitted, so I don't know. So, I mean, he's only gonna be limited to what size of the
And
building that he
obviously
has.
that's in the
It's
planning
the lot that
aspect.
he has, so I'm sorry, but yes.
Okay. And we do have verification that they do have to have that buffer zone.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I needed to know.
One thing, I'll get to you in a second, Mr. Miller. One thing I'd like to remind the commissioners is that, we're asking questions about this specific applicant's desires for the property, but once the zoning is changed, then anything that is allowed in mixed use can be done on that property. Keep that in mind. Oh, that is? Oh, Mr. Miller, would you like to ask a question?
Is there a difference in his building size from the Crossroads commercial, the max square footage to the mixed use, and that's the reason why?
It's probably not the only reason, but yes, there is a limitation. We had one before. It's 10,000 square feet is the max size that
In the
you can
Crossroads
have in
commercial?
Crossroad Commercial,
And
correct,
it-
yes, sir.
And then
And
it's up to
mixed use, there's
15,000?
no, and mixed use, there's no limitation.
No limitation. Could this same thing that he's attempting to do be accomplished with a spud or a PUD? I guess it would be a spud in this case, but
I don't know if within like that type of use, I don't know, commercial wise, I don't know if we could do that as a spud. Now, how much property is it total?
3.2 acres, I
I mean,
think.
it meets that requirement, but I don't know with the spud type thing if that would work,
so
but
if it were to go the spud route, though, he would still be able to do with the stipulations needed
yes.
and accomplish the same task that he's looking for versus the rezone?
We can't do things with industrial, and there's a borderline there if this is a light industrial use or if this is, with the lay-down yard and everything else. So that's why he requested just a straight rezone, so, yeah.
I mean, I certainly would prefer it as a spud, but.
Commissioners, anyone else desire to speak, ask questions, make comments?
I'd like to make a motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Schexnayder to do what?
Motion to recommend approval to the council.
We have a motion to recommend approval to the council. Do we have a second? Ms. Unitas, any further discussion on the motion? Okay, please cast your votes, please. Someone is, oh, no, here we go. Oh, it's over here. 5 yeas, 2 nays. Mr. Nassau, Mr. Villa voting no. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. The next item on the agenda, 6C, it's a zoning review, IDPZ 3613.25 for Roco Investments LLC. This is located on the south side of West Edenborn Parkway, approximately 1,900 feet east of South St. Landry Avenue, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from Crossroad Commercial, CC District, to Light Industrial District. Is there someone here representing the developers or the investors?
Yes, sir. How are y'all doing this evening? I'm Dustin Kluwat, Roco Investments. We have this property. We've been marketing it, looking to get it rezoned to light industrial, which would be continuous with our neighbors zoned, and with a good bit of the area is zoned up and down Edenborn and St. Landry Road.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Brock?
Yep, public hearing.
Oh, okay, this is a public hearing on item 6C. I'm just anxious for Mr. Brock to speak. Item 6C, is anyone signed up to speak?
No one signed up.
Okay, public hearing is closed. Now, Mr. Brock.
Okay.
From all the information you received in the public hearing, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I would like to recommend staff recommends accept the rezone to light industrial based on the master plan and vision map reflecting employment, which is industrial business park.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schexnayder? Okay, Mr. Kluwat will be abstaining from this, on this item. Mr. Schexnayder?
Okay. Mr. Kluwat, I got a few concerns about this property. Number one, it abuts up to an existing residential area. My biggest concern is if we went with, instead of Crossroads Commercial, to a mixed use, now we're going straight to light industrial. That light industrial potential being on the backside of an existing residential area, that causes me some concern without knowing what could be possibly put there. And then number two, just to be contiguous with everything, I do understand that there are some light industrial areas with that business park of Edenborn, but mixed use is maybe a little bit more forgiving in that sense. What I really would like to have seen is something along for the commission is almost a guarantee, and I would have really appreciated to see this as a spud, something that we know that we're playing. I know you're trying to market this for that reason and those things, But my only concern is, like I said, we are abutting, existing, homeowners. With all that being said, is that something that y'all would consider is coming back to us with a PUD or a SPUD? Or is that something that y'all are just not?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay.
And we do, I mean, there's a row of trees in between us and, between that property, you know, if that's something, I don't know if this is the correct forum to agree to do something of that matter. But, I mean, we would have no problem leaving some kind of barrier there. Matter of fact, I mean, we would, even if y'all didn't require it, we'd leave a barrier there, but, just for our purposes.
And Mr. Brock, what authority do we have on maintaining some type of buffer zone whenever we're talking about this to a residential area?
A buffer would be required, but also you cannot condition the rezone. So,
Okay.
but whatever would be required in the code, he would be required to do.
I got you.
So,
Those are my two, things.
Okay, Mr. Brock, question for you. On this exhibit here that's in the planning packet, some of the colors don't look like they're exactly the same. So that property that's on the upper right, is that, what is that zone?
It's mixed use.
That red, is that mixed use?
that's mixed use, yes, sir.
Okay. And then below the mixed use, there's another
That's light,
tannage?
yeah, that's light industrial,
Light
that
industrial.
gray area.
Okay.
It's a little funky online too, trying to decipher between magenta, pink, and purple. I was.
Yeah, it's all very close, very close.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the woods in the background and everything, once you put that layer on top of it.
Okay, commissioners, anyone else, questions, comments? Okay, Mr. Miller?
We had this same discussion when we were looking at the West Bank property with industrial next to residential, and there was a set buffer already in that.
Correct.
I felt it was like something like a couple 100 feet, huh?
Yeah, basically what it did is went around it, they kind of used a few hundred feet, some
That's
of it
what
was a
I
little more than that, 660.
Yeah.
So, that
So
was
there's gonna be a
done, that was,
significant-
right, that was done, you know, the plan originally, that's how it was done. So, with this particular one, we don't rezone portions of property, so, or anything like that. So he's making a request for the property, legal piece of property, and, we can't, unless he would subdivide portions of it out and then come back. But, as it is right now, we don't rezone portions, or,
So that entire property would be rezoned light
That's correct.
industrial, and you'd have to
Yes.
maintain that buffer from
Yes,
the
sir.
property limits of the residential all the way through.
yes, sir.
And that would be on both sides of Edenborn? The rezoning?
Yes.
No, sir, it's only on one side. It's kind of a weird lot, as you can see, it kind of comes back and it's part of the road, you know, right away, I guess you could say, how it is now, but it's basically just that portion that's on the south side that's outlined in blue.
Okay.
We are just a square on the airport side. The way it clicks up and shows that little Oklahoma-looking line, that is,
Okay.
that's,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
part
that
of,
belongs to, it's right here, but no,
That makes sense.
unless you want to give it to me, so I'll take it. But no, it doesn't, I think that all kind of was before the road went through there.
So in the light industrial, to go to my comment on the previous item, once this is rezoned, you're gonna have a number of different uses that would be allowed under light industrial, and it is, as Mr. Schexnayder said, it's quite a jump from crossroad commercial to light industrial. What would some of the uses be in light industrial? And also, are you planning to do a development on this property?
So what we have in mind is when you're going down St. Landry, some of those, the warehouses, Wagaspac's own, right there, you can do those, but just a little bit larger. Those are not, if you go to a larger one, you're not allowed to do that in light industrial.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bryant?
Not allowed to do that in Crossroads Commercial. I apologize.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm still looking, but basically,
sorry.
I mean, retail, those type of things are not permitted. There, you know, mini warehouses are permitted. I mean, these are things that are allowed in basically, you know, those, both districts in MU and Crossroad Commercial. Once you get into the industrial part of it, light industrial, printing plants, warehousing, wholesale business, ponds and dirt pits, and that's about it. I mean, other than that, both of them would, a lot of the uses would be allowed in mixed use also. So the only thing with with also light industrial, there's some standards in light industrial. So just want to let you know that. So the frontage, you know, the way the building looks in the front with a facade and that type of thing, there are some things in there that are a little more, you know, I guess aesthetics wise, that it looks, you know, a little different than a mixed use. That's kind of, believe it or not, a little more wide open. So, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Villa?
I know the colors are off, but, the property line, showing, I lost it, but, it goes, the property line goes across the road?
No, sir.
No.
Okay,
It doesn't.
Did we cover that?
That was, I think that's either a glitch in the system. That property all used to, everybody gave up a part when Edenborn, and Lance and
Okay.
Eric, when Edenborn came through, everybody gave up some, and I think that,
Fair enough,
that went away in that.
fair enough.
Yeah, if you look at the plat itself, that's
Well,
attached.
you know what it actually was, Eric? I mean, Lance, it was, that road had to have connection to St. Landry, and that was its that was its access to, it wasn't landlocked. And then when Edenborn was built, that's what it was for.
And the map
It's just
was-
a slither.
The map was never redrawn on the RGIS, but the plat that he has submitted in here shows that it's a square.
It stops at the right of way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay. Commissioner, Mr. Scheck Snyder?
That's all the information I really needed. And in that case, I'd like to make a motion to approve, to recommend approval to the council.
We have a motion by Mr. Scheck Snyder, second by Mr. Miller. Commissioners, any further discussion on this item? Okay, let's cast our votes, please.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Passes.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Kluwat abstains. 6 yeas. You have a motion to adjourn? Oh, staff report. Oh, it is on here, staff report.
No report.
No report, okay, thank you. Now do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Scheck Snyder, second by Mr. Miller. Meeting adjourned.